Alright, she's done. Let's take a look at it. Hey, welcome back everybody. So today, I'm not riding. Today I am working on this. This is a 2013 Gary Fisher, Trek Gary Fisher, Mamba. It's a 3x9 with the oil and coil front fork, Hayes hydraulic brakes. Has some pretty cool orange highlights on a black frame. There's not a scratch, there's not a chip, there ain't nothing, there's nothing wrong with it except that it's heavy. So I have decided to do some upgrading on it. So I'm going to turn it into a 1x11. So I found these wheels on eBay. They're Stan ZTR Flows, which are the heavier rim, but I found them for 180 bucks. Couldn't pass that up. I got some new orange cable, valve stems, 11-speed chain, a bit shorter stem, pedals already had, seat already had, carbon seat post already had that. Alright, so this came with a derailleur and shifter that I bought. It's a 11-speed Dior micro spline Shimano, but the bike has, the wheel set has HD or HG on it, and I had this cassette already, so I threw that one on there. If that's not, the gear ratio is not going to be quite right, then I'll switch it to that. Carbon bottle cages, which I already had. New rear 160 mil rear rotor, anodized spacers that I already had. Got a new anodized orange seat clamp. Already had the crank set. New external hub. 30 tooth Shimano chainring. New Dior derailleur and shifter. 180 mil for the front that I already had, so I got a spacer I can put in there. I got to replace the front bearings on the front wheel I got. They're okay, but they're a bit chunky. New skewers that are lighter and some frame wrap. So those are the things I'm going to do on the bike. Upgrade it. The wheels on this bike that are super heavy. I mean, they are ridiculously heavy. So yeah, change out the drivetrain, change out the wheels. I'm leaving the brakes and swapping the seat post and saddle. And currently where it sits, we're looking at, I don't have an actual weigher, bike scale thing. So I weighed myself, and then I weighed the bike with me holding it, and it's right around 32 pounds. So I'm hoping to get down in the mid-20s. That's where I'm hoping. So I moved the operation inside because it's just too cold outside for me. get too much farther along, let me give you an update what's happening. So I built the bike, and here's the wheel set. It's a Stan's ZTR Flow stock front wheel. It has a really cool orange hub though. I wish I could have used that, but it's also super heavy. So the crank on this bike is an old triple Hollowtech Shimano XT crank system, and I had this chain ring on there, which is a Race Face 32, but when I was riding it was making a whole bunch of noise, didn't feel engaged, so it just, yeah, I tried to get away with it. I'm trying to use as many used parts that I have on this bike, so I tried using it, but it just too wore out. So I ordered a new one. I actually found one in England, which I should have hopefully in a couple weeks, for an orange one, no less, for $27. That included shipping, so we'll see. And yes, I know my levers are pointed straight down. That's not where they're going to end up. But I do have a new handlebar coming, because we went for a 17-mile ride, did a black diamond twice on this bike, and the fork did surprisingly well. I was impressed. So even though the bar is cool and it's orange, it is oddly shaped. I did not like it. So I found a carbon bar, an Easton carbon bar, for $30 on eBay. That should be here in a couple days, so I'll be putting that on there. So once I get the new chain ring on, I also have I think it's gear number 5 that was giving me problems. So we'll see. If it's still giving me problems, I'll have to get a new rear cassette. But pretty much everything, the only thing new on the bike right now is the rear derailleur and the shifter pod and the stem. So those are the 3 things that are new. Well, so like new, brand new. And then I got a set of orange ergon grips coming, because these grips suck. Don't like round grips at all. So yeah, there's a kind of an update where it is. Oh, and this right here, I forgot about this. So this, I don't know if you could read that or not. That says Wayne Everett. So Wayne Everett's the name of the dude that I bought the bike from, and him and his buddies were going to do some sort of ride. I forget what it was, but something happened. It didn't happen. Just for whatever circumstances, just didn't work out for Wayne. And so I told him when I bought the bike that I would give him the honor of having his name on essentially his bike, now my bike, and that the bike will see some adventures. I plan on racing this bike for 2024. All right, so I'm slowly piecing the bike together. I got these in actually yesterday. They're a set of Easton EC70 carbon bars. They 20-degree rise, and I think it was 5 degrees sweepback, or 8 degrees. I can't remember which. But I wanted something a little bit of rise to it versus these bars. 'Cause these bars are really oddly shaped. So I didn't like them. Since I got it measured where I want it to be, I can't really set the angle of them until I get the wheels and everything back on. So use a little bit of tape. To mark the spot. That way when I go to rotate them, I don't twist them, get them misaligned again. Alright, so another piece of the puzzle has arrived. Works components from the UK, actually. And there it is. My orange 32 tooth chain ring. I got this, so I just like did a Google search, and this company popped up, and it's a narrow wide chain ring that comes in multiple different colors, and it's only 26 bucks, and that's with shipping. That included shipping, so couldn't pass that up. And it took like, I don't know, like a week and a half to get here from the UK, so that's not too bad. I don't know if y'all noticed, but there's Trek here, and there's Trek on the bottom. I've owned some Treks in the past, but I've never noticed the Trek sticker being on the top and the bottom. It's usually on the side. And even looking up the different websites about this 2013 model, all of them had the Trek on the side, not on the top and bottom. So I don't know if maybe the paint guy was having a bad day that day or what was going on, but it's definitely unusual. So I like this Lucas Speed Wax. Has a nice shine, and it does last quite a while. I'm still waiting on the Maxxis Recon Race tires to show up. The ones I got here are the standard Maxxis Recons, not the Race. Need to adjust the B screw. It's in too far.
Cool. Alright, shift's good.
Alright, she's done. Let's take a look at it. So I'm going to go over the cost of the bike. Things already had, things I had to buy. So after the build, I dropped a solid 9 pounds for sure. I'll have to go to the local bike shop and see if I can borrow the scale to get a accurate weight, but I definitely lost 9 pounds. With the new tires that the Recon races I'm going to put on, I'll lose another half pound easy. So I could realistically be in the high 22s, mid 22s, once it's all said and done. So pretty excited about that, especially for what I paid for everything. All right, so the bike itself, it's a Trek Gary Fisher edition. Gary Fisher edition. Mamba. Found it off Facebook Marketplace. Cost me $375. Bike is essentially brand new. Not a scratch, not a chip, nothing. Bike was unused, hanging in a dude's garage. Seat post, Bontrager carbon seat post off one of my old road bikes. Saddle, same situation, off one of my old road bikes. It's a Specialized Toupee 143, weighs 192 grams. The rear cassette was given to me by someone who was swapping out the parts on their bike. So it's an XT cassette, cost me nothing. New rear derailleur, 11-speed Shimano Dior. And I also got the Dior cassette that came with it, and the Dior chain that came with it. $129 off eBay. Crankset, it's an old triple XT crankset that was given to me for free. Chainring I got anodized orange Works components from the UK, cost me $26. Pedals, Crank Brothers candies, I believe those were $40, but they came off another bike, so in essence they cost me nothing. Bontrager carbon bottle cages, which came off a different bike, cost me nothing. Ergon grips, $24 off eBay. The original Hayes brakes that came with the bike. Brake pads were brand new. New stem. There's a race face Chester stem, 50 millimeters. Easton EC70 carbon bars. So the bars cost me $54. The stem cost me $35. This is the original RockShox XC32 TL. Alright, so Stan's ZTR Flow wheels I got off eBay for $180. The Maxxis Recon tires I already had. I did replace, and there's Nala. So the front rotor on the original wheel was 160 millimeter. I put on 180 millimeter because I had an adapter to make it 180, which I already had. 160 rear, which I already had. The skewers came off an old Trek frame, so it didn't cost me anything. So overall, with everything on the bike, total price $980. Super excited about that. I like the weight. I have ridden the bike, just kind of a shakedown ride, see what it feels like, and feels good. Feels good. I probably need to tweak my cockpit just a little bit, but overall feels really nice. I'm going to race this bike for 2024. My first race is going to be a 6-hour race in February. It's called 6 Hours on the Ridge. It's in Marietta, South Carolina. I did it last year on my 2020 Jameis Portal. Got second place, but I've changed the Portal to be a light enduro heavy trail bike. It's no longer the kind of cross-country trail bike anymore. It's because I got a coil shock on. I got 150 mil on the front, so I kind of changed the bike. So the Jameis is still super fun to ride. It's just not as efficient as it once was. I could put all the old suspension back on it because I did keep it, but I'm gonna try this instead. This will be a lot of fun. Hopefully it's gonna be a sleeper. People see me at the line and be like, okay, whatever. But yeah, so there it is. I look forward to racing it. Hey, like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And so would my dog. Wouldn't you? What?